The words of him that gathereth, of the sun spewing, the prophecy which a man spake, with whom God was, and which man was confident and comforted by God, dwelling with him, and said, I am the most foolish of men, and the wisdom of men is not with me. I learned not wisdom, and I knew not the knowing of holy men. Who ascended into heaven and came down? Who held together the spirit or wind in his hands? Who bound together waters as in a cloth? Who raised up all the ends of the earth? What is the name of him, and what is the name of his son, if thou knowest? Each word of God is a shield, set of fire, to all that hope in him. And thou not anything to the words of him, and thou be reproved and found a liar. I prayed thee for 2 things. Deny not thou them to me, before that I die. Make thou far from me vanity and words of leasing. Give thou not to me begging and riches, but give thou only necessaries to my life load, lest peradventure I be fulfilled, and be drawn to deny and say, Who is the Lord? And lest I be compelled by neediness and steal, and forswear the name of my God. Accuse thou not a servant to his Lord, lest peradventure he curse thee, and thou fall down. A generation that curseth his father, and that blesseth not his mother. A generation that seemeth clean to itself, and nevertheless is not washed from his filths. A generation whose eyes be high, and the eyelids thereof be raised into high things. A generation that hath swords for teeth, and eateth with his cheek teeth, that it eat needy men of earth, and the poor alls of men. The water leech hath 2 daughters, saying, Bring, bring. 3 things be unable to be filled, and the 4th, that saith never, it sufficeth. Hell, and the mouth of the womb, and the earth that is never filled with water, but fire that saith never, it sufficeth. Crows of the strand peck out that eye, that scorneth the father, and that despiseth the childbearing of his mother, and the young of an eagle eat that eye. 3 things be hard to me, and utterly I know not the 4th thing. The way of an eagle in heaven, the way of a serpent on a stone, the way of a ship in the middle of the sea, and the way of a man in his young waxing age. Such is the way of a woman adulteress, which eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I wrought not evil. The earth is moved by 3 things, and by the 4th thing, which it may not sustain, by a servant when he reigneth, by a fool when he is filled with meat, by an hateful woman when she is taken in matrimony, and by an handmaid when she is heir of her lady. 4 things be the least things of earth, and those be wiser than wise men. Ants, a feeble people, that make ready meat and harvest to themselves. A hare, people unmighty, that setteth his bed in a stone. A locust hath no king, and all goeth out by companies. A lizard enforceth, and endeavoureth with hands, and dwelleth in the houses of kings. 3 things there be that go well, and the 4th thing that goeth richly, either by prosperity. A lion, strongest of beasts, shall not dread at the meeting of any man. A cock girded the loins, and a ram, and a king, and none there is that shall stand against him. He that appeareth a fool, after that he is raised on high. For if he had understood, he had set his hand on his mouth. Forsooth, he that thrusteth strongly teats, to draw out milk, thrusteth out butter, and he that smiteth greatly draweth out blood, and he that stirreth ires bringeth forth discords.